Let's see, who else is Joe Biden taking money from and getting money raised from while he pretends to be middle-class Joe? Another one of Joe Biden's bundlers is Bradley Butwin, a partner in New York City law firm O'Melveny. They represent corporations, not unions, in employment law matters and provide clients with, quote, advice in connection with union avoidance. Oh, my Lord. Union man Joe. I'm from Scranton. Oh, my Lord. I've never done a thing to hurt the unions. I've been fighting. I've been building those bricks with those hard union workers every step of the way. I ride the Amtrak to work. Not only has he done many fundraisers with union-bashing companies like Comcast, which I hope Bernie Sanders starts bringing up on the campaign trail, Joe Biden is not a friend of the unions. Not only did he vote for NAFTA, not only did he try to push TPP, which would have been the final death nail in labor unions, now he's making money and raising money from union busters. Pete Buttigieg, as I've exposed, is one hell of a false advertiser. But so is Joe Biden. And the corporate media has allowed Joe Biden for the last 30 years to masquerade as some middle-class hero, to masquerade as some like blue-collar, I shower after work kind of guy, when he's the total opposite. And if you had a media industry with just an ounce of integrity, you would know. You would know all this. You know this because of independent media, but the masses don't know this. Think about all the people making $50,000 or less that support Joe Biden. They're voting against their own interests, and they don't even know it. Think about all the people with only high school degrees voting for Joe Biden. They're voting against their own interests. They don't even know it. It's not just Donald Trump supporters that vote against their own interests. It's not just Republicans who vote for monsters like Mitch McConnell who vote against their own interests. It's Democrats, workers, union workers who vote against their own interests because there's no media in this country to actually inform them of those interests. There's more. There's more. Revolving Door on Twitter had a really good list here. Erskine Bowles, Bill Clinton's White House chief of staff, who's now on at Facebook and Morgan Stanley, he is raising money for Joe Biden. Remember, during the Obama years, they tried to do a grand bargain? Well, their idea of a grand bargain was to essentially cut Social Security, cut unemployment benefits. I mean, it's unbelievable. Look at this. One was Erskine Bowles, who developed a bipartisan plan in 2012 to cut Social Security benefits up to 35%, cut disabled veterans benefits by up to $2,200 a year, raise the retirement age and Medicare eligibility. Say it ain't so, Joe. This is who's raising money for Joe Biden. It's truly unbelievable that this guy gets away with this stuff. And I would like to see Bernie's campaign, after the holidays, after the new year, start naming names. Joe Biden is also leaning on Alan Patricof for fundraising. Patricof is one of the pioneers of the private equity industry, aka financial strip mining. It's no surprise that Mark Angelson backs Joe Biden, since he's worked with Biden's campaign for over 30 years. He's an M&A professor who brags in his Biden Foundation bio that he was a leader of the transformation and consolidation of the printing industry. Oh, that's nice. Amy Baker, a Joe Biden bundler, is a 20-year veteran of NBC News and entertainment divisions. But her husband, Barry, is a senior advisor at Lee Equity Partners. Oh, no wonder MSNBC and CNN and NBC News have been blowing Joe Biden for the last year. Not to mention, Comcast, which owns NBC and MSNBC, held a fundraiser for Joe Biden at the beginning of his campaign. Then you got Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg have a rivalry for hearts and pocketbooks of a prominent Virginia family. Congressman Don Byers is bundling for Buttigieg, but his wife, Meghan, is bundling for Biden. Then you got Dianne Feinstein, lover of the military-industrial complex, corrupt in her own right, and her husband, both raising a lot of money for Joe Biden. Bradley Butwin, the chair of big law firm Olvany and Myers, bundles for Joe Biden. Olvany and Myers defended Donald Trump in a lawsuit over Trump University and his inaugural committee in an SDNY investigation. You gotta love it. Bipartisan corruption. So Joe Biden is raising money from law firms defending Donald Trump for his corruption. Comcast top lobbyist, Comcast owns NBC and MSNBC, David Cohen is a Joe Biden bundler. Little surprise since Biden held a fundraiser at Cohen's house the day after he announced he was running for president. The mayor of Detroit, Mike Dugan, who I'm working on a story right now, is capital C corrupt. If you live in Detroit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's raising money for Joe Biden. Another Biden bundler is Joseph Falk of Ackerman LLP, who does lobbying and, quote, government affairs for mortgage brokers. Biden might have promised from day one to reject lobbyist campaign contributions, but is apparently fine with lobbyists fundraising for him. Then you got Silicon Valley insider John Fisher is a Joe Biden bundler too. Fisher is a major advocate for building startups with the goal of being bought by bigger firms instead of trying to create actually a standalone company. Curse of Bingus, anyone? And Biden has another Hollywood mogul bundling for him, Jim Giannopoulos, CEO of Paramount. Now, note that Paramount's company Viacom recently announced a merger with CBS, which Giannopoulos confirmed to run the film division. Raising cash for POTUS could help with that merger. Wow. And we don't want to forget the little people. Jeffrey Katzenberg of DreamWorks Animation. Mega wealthy person. I believe a billionaire. Jeffrey Katzenberg raising money for Joe Biden. Oh, by the way, I don't mean this is an attack, but you should know Jeffrey Katzenberg invested $20 million in my former employer, the Young Turks, in 2017. Just interesting. I mean, this is like you put in a bowl Al Gore, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan. Just put them all in a bowl, mix it up, put some balsamic vinaigrette on it, and call it middle class. The people that are raising money for Joe Biden are not raising money because they think he's a leader. They're raising money because they know he will keep their wallets flush. That's it. That's the ball game. That's how this works. Do I think on some things Joe Biden would be better than Donald Trump? I do. I know I'm unpopular if I say that, but I'm not going to just say what you want for clicks. Of course, he's going to be better on some things. He's not going to ban religions. I would hope his administration, if there was one, there wouldn't be all these children dying at the border. But on this critical issue that affects everything, that red line is going to keep on keeping on. That red line is going to keep on keeping on. Because the people raising money for Joe Biden, God knows who those people raising money for Joe Biden are getting to donate. Because that's just one piece of it. These are people who are raising the money. They are tapping into their networks of fellow corrupt people to donate to Joe Biden. And they're doing it to keep things the way they are. And meanwhile, the corporate media is doing their best to just hide it. They are doing their best to just allow Joe Biden to hide the fact that he is a fixture of this new Gilded Age. Nothing different. No change. As he told Wall Street behind closed doors, you put me in the White House, nothing's going to change for you. No problems. Joe Biden is also raising money from Michael Shrum. Michael Shrum, who, as of a few years ago, was the Democratic National Committee's deputy finance director. And he then, after being Democratic National Committee's deputy finance director, pivoted over to being Joe Biden's body man. A body man is somebody who travels with the president or vice president or whatever, and carries their luggage, does all the dirty work. So you have a DNC connection. Yeah, he's not at the DNC anymore, but he was the deputy finance director. You think Michael Shrum doesn't have contacts at the DNC now? I don't think the DNC is going to be stupid enough this time to put in writing whatever they're doing to rig the primary against Bernie Sanders. But Joe Biden's got the former deputy finance director raising who knows how much money. They only list it as $25,000. We don't know how much are these people actually raising because he just put everyone in one bucket. Over $25,000. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.